Cancers, welcome to your weekly Sidereal Astrology forecast. This is for February 15th through the 21st of 2016. I'm Athen, and this is for Sidereal Astrology, very different from mainstream astrology. If you are new to the channel, be sure to click the link because the signs are different. All right, so Cancer, this week we've got a pivotal sort of shift taking place. We've got both the Sun, Mercury, and Venus all shifting signs this week, starting right off the bat on Monday, in fact, with the Sun and Mercury shifting signs. So with the sun's going to be going into your 8th house, which is everything that's about the deeper aspects of life. I think there has been more of an awareness in terms of relationships lately, or one-to-one connections, which has been the sun there. There's also been a lot of transformations and changes in terms of your daily activities, whether it's with your self-improvement or your work sphere, which has been Mercury and Venus over that Pluto. But now things are shifting in this new way. Now, in terms of the deeper side, I think you can gain a lot of energy. I think there's a lot of insight, in fact, for you to uncover what really matters to you in life, which is the sun going into that 8th. That may be an area of confusion, or maybe it has been, at least on some level, with Neptune in the 8th. So if you have been feeling that, know that when the sun comes into this area, it just illuminates. You know, the sun just shines. And so you're able to see really what matters, what's really meaningful to you, you know, what's really deep, what's the truth about life, what's true to you, and how you can cultivate those areas as well. Because next month, this is where you're going to have the new moon. Is going to be in that 8th house. But in regards to the bigger picture, this whole theme is still very much about relationships. This lunar cycle started in that 7th house, so things are still cultivating in regards to your one-to-one connections, in regards to your relationships, your partnerships, etc. And Mercury is going into this sign, followed by Venus on Thursday. So here I just think you'll naturally probably think more about relationships or one-to-one connections, and maybe communicating more within them. And this can be new relationships or existing ones in that sense. Now, also this early part of the week will be in the first quarter phase, right? So it's a time of integrating and structuring anything new that has come to you from last week involving relationships or partnerships, probably your perspective, at least on a fundamental level. So where can you take action? Where can you implement these new insights is a great way of looking at it this week. Now, as you can see here in the transit graph, we don't have a whole lot of aspects. In fact, just one, the major one, Mars is sextiling up to the North Node here Tuesday and Wednesday. So with this one, it's very similar to the previous weekend, where if you're feeling a bit inspired, maybe motivated, maybe energized to cultivate the financial, material, or earthly side of life, which has been this Jupiter transiting your 2nd house. Now, this is all part of these new shifts and changes for this early part of 2016 with the North Node going into that 2nd. So for the next couple years, you've got a lot of support. There's a lot of momentum for you to cultivate what you might consider your material values in life. So it could be on the financial level, could be, you know, just generally your values, the things you enjoy, being grateful for what you have, the simple pleasures of life. You know, the things we enjoy, the good meal, the relaxation, these kinds of things is essentially where you've got the sort of life path energy unfoldment for the next couple years. But here with Mars, you've got the momentum, you've got the drive, you've got the inspiration to do that. Now, it's not a given, but at least on some level it's there, because the sextile is a very subtle energy, but it shows some sort of opening, some sort of opportunity to do that. And I think it's an excellent week to cultivate those areas. Now, vice versa, Jupiter is going to be sextiling up to that Mars, and Mars is in your 4th house. So I think lately a lot of you guys have been more self-assertive, maybe around the home life or with your family or with your health, to maybe implement and work on the roots of your life, whether it's health or otherwise. So that's very good this week with Jupiter in harmonious aspect up to that Mars. Could even be good for your self-expression, since Mars rules your 5th. And it could also be opportunistic and maybe even good with your career as well, since Mars rules your 10th. Now, as we go into the rest of the week, on Thursday, Venus then will be going into that 7th house. So here's where you can start to enjoy a lot of the easier one-to-one connections in life. You know, this is where Venus, the planet of relationships, which is more about the surface level of relationships. I think you're still going to be focused again on the deeper side of things. You're just going to have that natural inclination towards seeing the deeper truths of life, but at the same time, it's lighthearted. I think especially Mercury here, there's just this kind of synergy. And with Venus, there's this enjoyment of the more surface level interactions of your relationships, which can be very enjoyable. So very good with that. And you might even notice too things around the home and family life or with your health and stuff sort of coming to the top of the chart now in terms of them having more momentum and more energy moving forward for you there. Maybe even groups and friends also for some of you. So that's going to be Venus shifting. And going into next week, as you can see here in the transit graph, we do have Jupiter opposing up to Chiron going into next week. Now, this isn't going to be a major theme of the week, but I do want to mention this because it will be subtle the second half. And this is a healing taking place in terms of what is possible. And again, this is in regards to a lot of what you're seeing as possible with maybe the material values of your life. Now, this is already an aspect that's gone exact at the tail end of last year. So now Jupiter's retrograde going back over this position. So it's good to continue to reflect, right? It's good. The second aspect is all about learning, okay? And really seeing where maybe you have been optimistic, maybe where it can be, healed. Where can your optimism be healed? If it's been an over-optimism, then healing that. If it's an under-optimism, healing that. Seeing what's possible because, you are able to see the opportunities which are unfolding for you in this material side of life. But right now it's introverted. It's more reflective, and perhaps you are healing some wounds in regards to that. So being open to that, again, I don't think it's going to be a major theme until next week once these planets go exact, but something to sort of be aware of the second half. Now, as we go into the weekend, we are going to be in the gibbous phase, so your energy levels will probably start to increase as we go into the weekend, as it does with the moon. And as the week ends here on Saturday and Sunday, basically, the moon will be in your first house and then going into that second, which will be where the full moon will be next week. So there are culminations and there are insights coming in next week involving a lot of these values. And if you've been specifically involved with anything in this value side of your life for the past 6 months, it can be a culmination of that too. But at least an awareness of it. And that energy and momentum, I think, quite high since the moon is your ruler. All right, Cancer, so have a great week. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next week.